America, the First Avenger. Captain America, the First Avenger is the fifth film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, came out in 2011, directed by Joe Johnston, starring Chris Evans, Tommy Lee Jones, and Hugo Weaving. It's set during World War II, where we follow a man named Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, who's a weak and skinny man who really wants to join the military and serve his country. However, due to his physical condition, he is unable to join and gets rejected. Until a scientist gives him a chance and recruits him for an experiment. After the experiment, Steve Rogers is transformed into this powerful human being, super strong, super fast, and later known as the superhero Captain America. He also must stop an evil Nazi organization led by the evil Red Skull, played by Hugo Weaving. Back in 2011, I was really excited for this movie because I was liking the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies up to this point, and interested to see what they do with Captain America, and also excited that this movie was set during World War II, interested to see what they do with a superhero period piece, interested to see what they do with that. And I enjoyed this movie in 2011, and I still enjoy this movie now. First, the performances from the cast are great. Chris Evans is the perfect choice as Steve Rogers, Captain America. Very likable, naive, and you can tell he really wants to serve his country. He wants to do the right things. In the first half of this movie, where everyone is doubting him, thinking he's probably gonna die, and just starting not to feel sorry for him and do sympathetic for him, and you want him to do good things, and you want to root for this guy. Tommy Lee Jones is very funny and entertaining as a general. He has the funniest lines in the movie. I also really like Peggy Carter. She was a great character. Really liked her chemistry with Steve Rogers. Yeah. Stanley Tucci is also really good as the scientist that sees potential in Steve Rogers. I really liked him. Hugo Weaving also gives a very enjoyable performance as the villain Red Skull in this movie, and I'll get to more of him later. The rest of the performances in this movie, pretty good. Pretty good performances. Honestly, my favorite part about Captain America the First Avenger was not really the action, but the first half of this movie I thought was terrific. I loved the first half of this movie. You get to see Steve Rogers at the beginning as this weak, skinny man, wants to serve his country and has to deal with rejection and people doubting him, and I really liked the first half of this movie, seeing him go from this weak and skinny man and to later become this huge, strong man. I really love that. I love the World War II setting in this movie. The production design, the costumes, it's all fantastic, and there's not 1 second of this movie where I didn't feel like I was in World War II. I felt like I was in this time period. It can be a little cheesy at times, but I feel like the movie embraces its cheesiness, and I just had to deal with it. It's yeah, it's cheesy, but I'll deal with it. I also really like the CGI on Chris Evans, making him look like the skinny man, short skinny man. I thought it was really well done, and probably the best CGI in the movie, in my opinion. There is very entertaining action scenes in this movie. In particular, when Captain America is in combat, it's exciting to watch. Sadly, I do have some problems with the movie. I'll get to those right now. First, while Hugo Weaving does give a very enjoyable performance as the villain in this movie, Red Skull, I didn't really think it was menacing or threatening. He was just another forgettable Marvel villain, and I wasn't really a big fan of Red Skull. And I'm also really not a fan of the design of Red Skull. He looks more like a gumball to me. I wasn't really a fan of the design of Red Skull, and yeah, Red Skull is just another forgettable Marvel villain. Despite that, Hugo Weaving is a really good actor. Mr. Smith in The Matrix, Elrond in Lord of the Rings, V for Vendetta. He was fantastic in Hacksaw Ridge. He does give an enjoyable performance, but Red Skull just not very memorable at all. Also, when we do get to see Captain America in combat, I was a little disappointed that it was a montage of seeing Captain America in action, making me feel a little rushed in my opinions. Sure, there wasn't a way to show Captain America in action other than a montage. Did they really need to do a montage? But besides those problems, I enjoy Captain America the First Avenger. It's a very good superhero movie, and I don't think it's one of the best MCU movies, but for a solo movie leading up to Avengers, I thought it was pretty good. And so I'm gonna give Captain America: The First Avenger 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it still holds up years later. And as for the sequels, when we'll get there, I cannot wait to talk about those when we get there. But still, I think Captain America: The First Avenger is a pretty good superhero movie, and if you haven't seen it in a while, definitely get a rewatch, definitely before Infinity War. So yeah, Captain America: The First Avenger, good movie. Alright, the next MCU movie after Captain America: The First Avenger, so excited to talk about this one, The Avengers. All these Phase 1 movies been leading up to The Avengers. Next review, cannot wait. So what do you guys think of Captain America: The First Avenger? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.